Welcome back, everybody. This is Creative Cosplay Corner with Cable, and today we're going to bring on the show a new person as well to my Instagram and my cosplay world. I ran across Beer Fett, and we'll talk about that here in a minute. But I thought, what a kick-ass way to combine two things that you might have a passion for, cosplay and beer. So I'm going to introduce Bethany. Bethany, come on and just tell us about yourself and kind of give us your background.
Well, thank you for having me on the show, Cable. I'm very excited. That's a complicated question. Tell me about yourself.
I know. I hate those, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so my name, go ahead.
So I'll help you then. Let's just start real simple. Bethany, how'd you get into cosplay?
So I'm going to be honest. My sister is actually the big cosplayer in the family, and she's channeled a lot of her skills of sewing and costume creation into me. So I have a lot to be thankful for in that regard. Yeah, but my first costume was actually a young Boba Fett from Attack of the Clones. And I debuted that costume at AwesomeCon 2014 in DC, which was also my first con. So it was a great gateway.
Yeah. All right. And so we'll put your in the little titles here, Beer Fett. So let's talk about what is Beer Fett. So do me a favor. How'd you come to this?
So it actually has a lot to do with this helmet right here, which is the helmet that started Beer Fett. I won it in a charity auction, actually. And it was cast by Wasted Fett on Instagram. And
I love Wasted Fett. Yes.
Wasted Fett. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was painted by the Real Super Jedi, also on Instagram.
Okay.
And he painted this as a Mando, and they decided to auction it off because it's by far the most beautiful Mando helmet I've ever seen, and I was very, very fortunate to win it. I was not expecting it at all because Wasted Fett's very popular on Instagram, and it was just one of those things that I entered as why the hell not? I'll throw $20 at this and see what happens. So yeah, I won the helmet in 2018, and like most of my ideas, I decided to start the Instagram account because I was drinking one night and thought, why the hell not? So that's how Beer Fett started, and I actually have to give credit to Wasted Fett for my name because I was texting with him. I was like, hey, I was thinking about starting an Instagram page about, Mandos and beer. And he goes, and I was like, I'll do like the drinking Mando or the drinking Fett. And he just goes, Beer Fett. I'm like, should have thought of that. So that's how Beer Fett started.
So let's talk about it, right? So you've already got the Mando. One you were into and coming into this realm. You said you did a young Boba Fett, meaning the child Boba Fett with the blue, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And I might have seen that picture today on Instagram.
Yeah, with the Jango Fett. I believe that I think the Jango Fett in the picture is Fett-tastic.
Okay.
Or Fett_tastic. That was at Star Wars Celebration last year.
Yeah, so I saw that, and then you said you auctioned and got the bucket. So now you've got a Mando bucket, and then you're thinking, well, I like to drink beer, right? That's because again, I don't drink beer. I'm drinking today amaretto and Dr. Pepper, and you have what?
I have a double IPA by Triple Crossing. It's called Valhalla.
Valhalla,
and it's
again.
Very tasty. Lots of pineapple, mango, tropical notes.
I dig it, right? So now you're sitting around drinking, and you're like, I've got a bucket. I like beer, so let's mash those two things up. So do you know Hip Hop Trooper? I don't know him personally.
I do know Hip Hop Trooper, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But what a cool way. Hey, I like my 80s beats. I want I'm going to mash it up with Adidas and a Red Trooper. I mean, whatever it is you like, you mash up, and that's what I like. So let's do this. I want to talk about a couple of these, and I want to make sure either it's yours or your sister, and we'll give credit to where it goes, but I want to make sure some of these photos are fantastic. One, your cost is fantastic, and then two, your settings. So I want to start with this one here and show this one, and we'll do post-production.
Yeah.
So we'll go up in the corner, but this is it. What is this, and where did this come from?
So this is my latest Beer Fett rendition. It
Okay.
was taken actually right before quarantine went into, full lockdown. I
Yep.
think travel was still allowed in Virginia,
Okay.
but my sister and I decided to go down to Richmond to the Pipeline Trail, and that is the best setting for a photo shoot that I've seen. There's so much to do. Like there's a tiny beach, there's a catwalk pipeline that
Okay.
serves as it's part of the trail, but it's like you can fit one person through at a time. So it's the perfect Star Wars setting. So that was also by my sister Rebecca Joy Photo on
Yep.
Instagram.
Okay. So you guys said, F it. We're going to take a road trip. We're going to head down there and let's go figure this out. And so, like you said, this was the pipeline and the settings worked out good. So I might think, and help me out here, is this one also in that same area?
That is in that same area. It is in a different setting. Like, so the first photo that you showed by the doors, we call them the Star Wars doors, but
Okay.
I don't know what they're called exactly, but they're these like two large metal doors right next to each other. That's actually just like right above the area where you go down towards the pipeline trail.
Okay.
Yep. So this one, we're not like, if you look up to the left and see, the column, that's up where the pipeline is.
Okay.
So that
Yeah.
one is down by the river.
All right. You're going to be in a van down by the river.
I don't know if this quarantine keeps going on. Maybe that'll be my vacation spot.
Well, let's talk about the in a van
river.
down by the river. All right. So Bethany, do me a favor. Tell me about the either the layers or the I don't want to say the realm. What era Mando is this?
It's definitely pre-Empire age, so Clone Wars era. You can probably tell from some of my other pictures that I like taking my helmet on and off.
Yep.
So ever since the Mandalorian show came out and I've taken my helmet off, people are like, "Oh, well, you can't put your helmet back on." I'm like, really?
Like
You
people
want to
pay
tell that to
attention,
Sabine and Bo-Katan?
right? Come on,
Yeah.
people. This isn't the only Mando. Is not the one that just came out 6 months ago. We have thousands of
Exactly.
years of Mandos, right?
I've been in this fight since I was 6 years old.
Exactly. So I like that pre-Empire. Again, that wasted fat bucket you got is fantastic. So we got a couple other ones. So I want to show the one here. I think this is yours. So help me out here. Is this your picture you took? Or is this
That's
your sister?
also my sister's photography. That's in her backyard.
Okay. So again, beautiful setting as well, right? Beautiful setting.
Yes. So actually my armor is also wasted fett. And if you have a picture with like my belts, that's by Delta Leatherworks. He does fantastic leather work. A lot of Boba and Jango and a bunch of other different Star Wars characters leather work. So he's been a huge asset as well. Huge shout out to him.
That is fantastic and great shout out. I love to share the community when we get on these shows.
Would
Mike
not
Q,
be where I am without them.
right? And so I love it. That's that togetherness of the community. Mike Q did the same thing. Mike does his own stitching, and then he goes into 3D printing with another company, and he goes into the plates from somebody else. So I mean, same, right? Absolutely. But I like how, like you said, when you've got that bucket off and you're walking through that looks fantastic. That's a fantastic Merc. I say Merc. I like Merc. That's a fantastic Merc. It's a fantastic setup. So I really think it's fun. I want to showcase the other one in that same realm. Is this
Yes.
same setting?
That's actually my photo right outside my door.
Oh, okay. So do me a favor. I don't know this because I've only had a few pieces before. What's it take to actually get the garb on and actually put the whole – I saw your eyes roll when I asked the question. So tell me, what's it like for that process?
It's a lengthy process. Some days it takes more than others. If I'm in a room with other cosplayers, it's a longer process because we're all trying to help each other out. And I'm very fortunate with mine because I don't have, the jetpack harness or a jetpack. So mine's pretty easy on and off. I have a whole process, flight suit and flak vest go on. I have these wraps underneath my gauntlets that help keep the gauntlets in place, which is huge. And then I got my boots and leg wraps. So those pieces usually go on first, and then I just layer on the armor. But always what goes on last is the poncho, which is done by my sister, Becca. And that actually helped create the aesthetic for, I started like piecing everything together right after I started playing Red Dead Redemption. So my theme was, I want to do like a Red Fett Redemption. So that's where that came from.
That would be kick-ass, right? And that rustic kind of, because again, nothing's the shiny Mando. You're not like, pristine. It's almost like you've been through the ringer a couple of times. It looks like you've got some history. I've been doing this since I was 6 years old, you said, right? And so, I think it's fantastic. But I got to tell you, so I've seen a lot of cosplay. And I'm not an expert, but I've seen a lot of cosplay, and I don't know what it is. I love the mashup. This next picture is just I don't know what it is. It's that absolute. You've got your jean jacket. Is that correct?
My pin jacket.
Your pin vest. You've got the bucket. And you've got a beer up, and you're like, cheers. And I think that is just. And I don't know you, Bethany. This is our first time meeting, but you seem like a down-to-earth, chill person. Let's just sit back and have a good time. Here's my beer. I want to enjoy a good beer, enjoy a good laugh, and have a good time. And I'm making that up, but this picture right here literally screams that. It's perfect.
Thank you. Yep. That pretty much sums it up. I try to be very low maintenance, laid back, and if I'm feeling uptight, might as well crack a beer.
Right?
Cheers.
That's right. Cheers. I'm going to do the same with my I've got my, who is this? My Ma Golden Girls Pop Funko
What? Yeah.
bottle.
What? Oh, Golden Girls.
Golden Girls.
Nice. I love it.
It's good times.
I love that they created Funko Pops for Golden Girls.
It's so bad. We got them in the other room, and I just got the I'm a Pez guy, so I just got the Pez Golden Girls. So do me a favor, Bethany. 2014 was your first con.
Mm-hmm.
You've ventured into, and you've had some, and now you've kind of, I don't want to say narrowed it down. I don't mean it that way. You have this Instagram page for this particular cosplay. Is there anything else on the books? Is there anywhere else you're going?
Actually,
what do you got?
I'm glad you asked. So I know I've talked about my sister at length, but given that she has the seamstress genes in the family, she's actually making me a Siege of Mandalore Ahsoka and also a Fallen Bastila Shan from Knights of the Old Republic. So Fallen Bastila Shan is the one I'm most excited for because it may just be the little hipster in me, but I really like doing kind of characters you don't really see many variations of. So
because I don't know the last time somebody said Knights of the Republic and Basta, I can't even say it. Basta, I can't even do it. Bastila Shan. I can't even say it, right? So you're right. It's going to be probably a very unique one. One, because it's going to be handmade and y'all are going to go through that process. And then two, you don't see a lot of variations or somebody goes, remember that game in 2000, was it 4? 2008? What year was Knights of the Republic?
I would say 2004.
Yeah, it's been a while. Like, oh, there's that. Yep. But this is what I love. There's no walls. There is no, you have to be in a certain realm for cosplay. And I did it once before in another show, but I like to mention it. Do you remember when Jurassic World came out and the pterodactyls come swooping down and there was the dude in the Hawaiian shirt with the margarita or whatever?
Yep.
That dude was at every con that year. He was like 2 seconds of screen time and it just took off. That's what and I got chill bumps even just telling that story. It's just fun. You can do anything.
It's kind of like Wilbur Hood from Empire Strikes Back. I don't know if you've ever seen a running of the Hoods, but 2 seconds of screen time in Cloud City with an ice cream maker, and that becomes a con phenomenon.
They've
It's
got the jumpers,
amazing.
right? They have the ice cream and they just run through. I mean, but you're right. It's genius. And now it's like you are waiting for the run of that. You know, that's part of your day when you go to the cons. So what is it for you when you go to the cons? What is the draw? What is the lure?
Man, it's awesome to see all the different cosplayers come out with their creativity at 1,000% each time. And my first con, or my first two cons, I think I went with my sister and maybe a couple other friends. But especially, I think the Awesome Con 2018 is when I met up in person with Wasted Vet and a bunch of the other vets. And since then, we've kind of created like our own little family, and we plan ahead of time which cons we want to go to. And 2020 is kind of shot for cons, unfortunately. Like, we just
Sure.
found out Star Wars Celebration was canceled, and
I saw that.
yeah, it's 100% the right decision.
Yep.
I
Be
keep
safe,
telling
right?
myself that. It's still sad because we're looking forward to it, and now we have to wait till 2022. But I don't know, there's just this community of costumers and Star Wars family, I call them, that I think that's the biggest draw for me, is the friendships I've made over the years, and being able to selfishly walk through cons and have someone say, "Hey, can I get a picture with you? Because your costume's awesome." It's like the biggest ego boost ever. And yeah, it sounds narcissistic, but it's like giving a pat on the back to yourself for the work that you did.
Well, so, and I mean, I respect what you say. I don't think it's narcissistic in regards to that. You put the effort in, you have a passion for it, you have a joy for what you do. And then when you turn the corner, somebody appreciates that. And that's what that is. Maybe not narcissistic. Yes, you feel warm and fuzzy because they want to come take a picture with you. I get that. But that joy, that look on their face, I think says it all. That's, I think, that
Yeah,
moment you're talking about, right?
it is. And maybe it's just my parents telling me that I'm a narcissist for getting excited about that. But yeah, I
I
do
don't
get
think
a
you
lot
can.
of warm and fuzzies.
Right. I don't think you can ever be a narcissist for putting a warm and fuzzy both in your heart and somebody else's. And I think the cosplay community, and it's not just a con, like you said, you and the Fets now have a whole thing going on the side that it's connections, communities, friendships, and things like that. I think that's a wonderful thing that this starts to bring out of it. Again, 30 years ago, we would have been the geeky Star Wars kids that go to do our lightsabers. And today there's tens of thousands of us, and everybody on the outside's looking in now because they're kind of like, oh, what's going on over there?
Yeah,
So
Star Wars is
no,
mainstream.
seriously, I think if you had a business card, this should be it. I'm dead serious.
Yeah,
This is
maybe
probably what you
without
should hand.
the beer branding on the front, but sure.
Sure. Maybe get your own. Have you started brewing your own beer?
My oldest brother is actually the homebrewer in the family. I live in a basement apartment and
Yeah.
I rent, so
Okay.
homebrewing's not really an option for me right now, but
Yep.
I have gone to a couple breweries. I actually used to work at a brewery as a front of house person, but
Yeah.
they've let me come and help brew on a couple days. And one of my friends is a head brewer at another brewery, and I've gone and helped him a couple days. So I understand the process, and I really appreciate the craft. And I actually do have a couple stickers. I have a TeePublic website that one of my friends, Louis B Cartoons on Instagram, he sketched up a sticker design and t-shirt design for me.
Nice. So think about it. In the next iterations of who Bethany goes into, you could start brewing your own beer, slap your own Beer Fett sticker picture on there, right? Go to the
Yep.
con. You could do your con and then have a booth. You can't sell the beer, but you can sell the T-shirts and the stickers. And then everybody comes and gets a picture with Beer Fett and hang out and then plan, because after con, They go plan to have Beer Fett's beer line. Oh my gosh, we could do this all day. You get a beer line coming up. Think about it. You could go think about Beer Fett and how many tens of thousands of people at a con would want to come to the after party that's then sponsored by, and everybody buys Beer Fett. Dude.
I support that business decision. Let me just rearrange my entire career and I'll get on that.
Okay, how about we support you and then you're just the face, the president, CEO, and you run it and we just do all the work.
I also like that decision, and I'll drink all the beer that you make.
See, you got to taste it. You got to make sure it's worthy of the...
quality control. I firmly believe in quality control. And I think having a lot of conversations with Fett painters and builders, you get a real attention to detail. Like 5 years ago, I wouldn't be able to tell you that this shirt is like a pre-production one Boba Fett, but because it's got the jag ears or however you pronounce it, that's how you know it's pre-production one. Attention to detail.
It's attention to detail and history. I love the history of a character and then the people that can follow and understand that history of a character. But Bethany, I got to tell you, this has been a fun afternoon. We're sitting here drinking. We're having a good time. I love cosplay, so I'm very fortunate that now I get to do this, that I get to come on and bring the creativeness of my guests. We know 2020 is kind of out of the picture. We knew that there's going to be some. Is there anything you want to say, though? I think you said a lot about what it is that you said, that pat on the back or that narcissistic. Was there anything else you want to say to the audience before we go? We'll kind of wrap up our afternoon and kind of get on our way. But is there anything else you want to drop for us?
Yeah, I would just say if, cosplaying is open to everyone. And like you said earlier, people are on the outside looking in at the nerd or geek culture now, but that door is wide open. We're so accepting, we support diversity, we support LGBTQIA+, we support all different walks of life. And if you're trying to find a spot for yourself, cosplay and costuming and nerd and geek culture is the way to go. And not to mention gaming. It's definitely helped me become more confident in myself, and I hope that you can find that for yourself as well in this culture.
I got to tell you, people, it is it's just a powerful thing to bring people on. Bethany, that says a lot right there. I like to think of it at a con or in the culture, the doors are actually off the hinges. They're not even on there, right? When you said you were at your first picture we showed, you were down at the Star Wars doors and they're already sprung open. That's exactly how I think of this culture when you talk about accepting. And it's a powerful way you put it. It doesn't matter who you are, what your background is. If you want to come in here and just have fun, come on in and have fun.
And that being said, there's always more work to do to keep making sure that you don't have gatekeepers at the door. Like, there's always progress, and everyone can find their niche, and there's always more ways to make sure progress, keep moving forward.
Yep. Now I want to state something for the particulars. You still have to pay your fee to get in. I mean, obviously I want to support my con, right? I don't want to take the doors off the hinges and just run on. We're just gonna...
general, but if you go to a con, you should probably pay for it.
Yes, but no, I wholeheartedly understand what you meant, Bethany. It's a beautiful world in there. My daughter's been going since she was 2. She went, she had a Halloween costume that was like a dinosaur where like the T-Rex head, and it just kind of buckled under her chin. But every time she walked, her tail would sway. And we've been going to cons since she was about 2. So she just likes to go.
Well, happy Father's Day to you. It's Father's Day.
Well, thank you, Bethany. I appreciate that. It is. And it's a joy to share that with my children. My son and I went to Fandom Fest, which was in Louisville, Kentucky years ago. But we went as Gentlemen of the Force. If you've ever seen them on Instagram.
Yeah.
So my son and I had matching suits. We had matching buckets, and we went to the con together, and it was just fun. That's awesome. I like to support the ideas that are out there, and I love to create them myself. But that year we went as matching father and son, and we had a lot of, hey, can we get a picture? That's kind of cool, And it was that kind of thing. but yeah, my kids get to enjoy it. My world gets to enjoy it. My neighbors think I'm a geek, but that's okay. They're fun too. I love them. They're business settings and they do what they do, but I love them as well, and they love me for being the geek that I am. And so, Bethany, it's been a
Yeah,
absolute. Oh, go ahead.
no, I just think I have neighbors too, and sometimes they'll see me outside setting up a shot with my beer, and they're like, it's always an interesting interaction. I just kind of go, hello there. And they're like, General Kenobi. Not really, but
Yes. Hello there,
yeah.
General Kenobi. Yeah, nobody always gets it, but they get it, right? Now, listen, Bethany,
Yeah.
it's been a blast. I love to see your mashup. I thought what a cool way to do it. You've got your FET and you've got your beer. You're going to sit around and do your cos and drink your beer and have a good time. You've said a few things that really stuck out. Community, the friendships that you've made, and the fact that it's anything goes. You can just come in here and cos and do anything. It
Yeah.
really does. It really does make whatever you're paying to get into a con, it's worth it just to walk in.
I agree. And thank you for having me on the show. This has been a really great conversation.
Well, and I appreciate it. So we'll definitely, one, we'll keep in touch. Two, we'll do some post-production and we'll get some things going. But I really look forward to see what you come with in the near future. I know that we're, again, stuck indoors and what have you. But I look forward to seeing what you've got going on. To everybody else out in TV land, it was Bethany or Beer Fett that we've had on the show today. We appreciate her being here. We're going to definitely share her contact. Y'all definitely reach out and make that connection. And by all means, it has been a blast to have Bethany here today. To everybody else out in TV land, we appreciate y'all being here, and we'll catch you guys on the flip-flop.
Cheers. Thank you so much for having me.
Cheers to you, Bethany. Thank you.